This is Will County's News Talk Sports 1340 WJL. Slocum in the morning. We're going to pause our Route 66 Great American Road Trip for just a couple of moments and talk money. It's Money Talks radio program. It's brought to you by our friends at NuMark Credit Union, one of the sponsors of our Route 66 road trip. We thank them very, very much. Today we're going to be talking about navigating the job market. We will be introducing you in just a couple of moments to our expert here this morning. I want to remind you that at the end of this program, we're going to give away a $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. How do you win the $25? Well, you listen to the conversation I'm about to have with Melanie Anderson, and at some point, she's going to say the answer to the question. Well, how do we know what the question is going to be? I don't even know yet. She's going to give us all kinds of information, and then we'll pick one little bit of information, and we'll ask you to repeat that information, and you can win a $25 Visa gift card. We'll do that right at the bottom of the program. Also want to remind you, you can grow your money your way. NuMark Credit Union gives you flexibility with their Pick Your Term CD special. Earn 5% APY for terms of 7 to 9 months. Let them help you find a term that fits your needs. Call 815-729-3211 or visit a NuMark office near you. She is a recruitment specialist with NuMark Credit Union. Her name is Melanie Anderson, and she joins us this morning on the Turk Furniture studio line. Hi, Melanie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing fine. Have you ever been to Springfield, Missouri?
I think I have, yeah.
Okay, all right, just checking, just taking a place. It's where we're at, a lovely place. But, hey, thanks for coming on. Thanks to NuMark also for sponsoring our Route 66 Great American Road Trip. Absolutely an awesome trip. We couldn't do it without sponsors like NuMark. But what we'd like to do is talk about navigating the job market. So before we get into some of the challenges that people are seeing, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what does a recruitment specialist do for NuMark?
Yeah, my name is Melanie Anderson. My title has recently changed. I used to be a recruiting specialist. Now I'm an organizational development specialist. I do the same thing right now.
It's just a new name, huh?
Yeah, I focus heavily on recruiting, the whole hiring process, and I'll also be doing things like leadership development and working with employee engagement initiatives.
Awesome. All right. We got to keep everybody in line, right?
Right?
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the common challenges that people face when entering the job market. It's an interesting job situation right now, an interesting market. We have unemployment that's down, yet a lot of jobs are being created, but a lot of those are service industry jobs. So I think you're probably working a lot with people that are looking to do something a little bit different than that.
Oh, absolutely. And applying for jobs is not necessarily easy. It might seem easy on the surface, but you do have to focus on creating a great resume and actually take the time to apply for a job that you want. It's pretty time consuming. You definitely won't get a job right away, or at least it happens very rarely. So that is definitely a big challenge, is the amount of time it takes and patience, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So the challenges that people face are, they're obvious. You mentioned some of them already. I think the first step, though, would be to do your research before you start on that search.
Yeah, and it's best to not apply willy-nilly.
Yeah.
You really have to put some thought into it and make sure that you are crafting the resume that you want people to see, free of errors, free of misinformation, and that's extremely important.
So some tips, job seekers, to stand out. It's a competitive market right now, especially for those good jobs, those bigger jobs. What are some of those things that people should do?
I'd say the key is portraying confidence in your skills, but then also showing the interviewers that you are willing to learn and grow with the company. Basically, when you're applying for a job and interviewing for a job, you are selling yourself. But you need to sell yourself in a way that's authentic to who you are. You need to be honest, you need to be upfront, but you also need to show off, essentially, the skills that you have.
At the same time, though, be humble, right? Probably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Be confident, but be humble at the same time. Yeah. There's a fine line.
Yeah, there absolutely are. You want to be confident, but not over the top. Let's get into a resume and a cover letter. For some people who've been in the same job for a long time, Melanie, they haven't done a resume in a long time. I mean, I've worked at this radio station for far too long, according to a lot of WJL listeners, so I don't have a resume handy. So where do you start when coming up with a resume?
Well, the good thing is that we have the internet at our fingertips. There are so many templates that you could find on either the internet or just through Microsoft Word. And these templates are a really great starting point. They tell you exactly what you need to put in your resume. But you do need to make sure that your resume and cover letter are very concise and accurate and free of errors such as grammatical errors, formatting errors. There's really nothing worse than, as a recruiter, coming to see a resume that's just riddled with errors.
Right.
We're not going to move forward with them if that's the case. So it's really important to be sure that everything is accurate. Also, be sure to include both hard skills or technical skills, so things like cash handling or Microsoft Office proficiency, but also include those soft skills too, like communication, problem solving, conflict management. You want to show the recruiter that you have a diverse skill set.
Right. What about making All-State as a high school football player? Does that go on a resume?
It depends. Probably not. It's pretty cool, though.
It is pretty cool. Absolutely. It is. What about cover letter?
Cover letter, the same type of thing. You definitely don't want to ramble. A lot of, the cover letter is kind of going out of style nowadays. A lot of jobs don't really require a cover letter. I would say most positions at the entry level don't require a cover letter unless you're applying to, be a professor or something like that. So cover letter, I'd probably just stay away from unless you really do want to have that extra piece. Just make sure it's concise and has all of the right information without being too wordy.
Sure, absolutely. All right, we're visiting today with Melanie Anderson, NuMark Credit Union. She is giving us some great insight, but now the $1 million tip. So if you're all looking for a new job or thinking about it or have a granddaughter, grandson looking for a new job, I think the next thing that we're going to talk about, Melanie, is the most important thing. Go. You know what's coming.
Networking.
Networking. Yes. Why is networking so important?
Well, there's a saying, it's all about who you know. That's not necessarily always true, but it does have some truth to it. Networking is so important because how are you going to move along in your career if you don't know anybody who's at the point that you want to be at? Everybody should join a platform like LinkedIn to connect with other professionals. And actually, recently at NuMark, we piloted a mentoring program where some of our more junior level employees can connect with more senior level employees for their own professional development. So get involved in things like that. Make sure that you are outreaching to people based on, where you want to be in your career.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Melanie, let's assume now we've got the interview. Cover letter, if we need one, check. Resume, no mistakes, look good, check. Did a little networking. We got our foot in the door. Let's talk about how to prepare for an interview.
Yeah, so one of the best things to do to prepare for an interview is to practice. Honestly, if you have a family member or a friend that can help you do like a mock interview, that is very helpful. You can look up some common interview questions on the internet, practice how to respond appropriately, practice having the correct body language, face expressions. It's kind of clear when somebody doesn't necessarily practice before their interview. So it is a good technique to prepare for sure.
All right. What are the mistakes people make, though? What are some of the things that you've seen and you're like, deal breaker?
Yeah, I don't think that candidates necessarily do this on purpose, but some of them tend to embellish their skills and experience. in order to tell the interviewer what they want to hear. Definitely don't do that, whether it's on purpose or whether it's not on purpose. Just be upfront and honest no matter what, because interviewers will find out, whether or not you do actually have that skill and experience that you're talking about. It's best to just be honest no matter what.
Melanie Anderson joining us from NuMark Credit Union here on 1340 WJOL. This is Money Talk, brought to you by NuMark, where you are family. Internships, volunteer work. We get questions all the time. I think we have a corporate policy where we don't do internships anymore, but I do love when people come in and volunteer, because especially the youngsters, I think it's really important to find out what the job is really like. You can go to college, or you can hear about, this job is really cool, but until you experience it for a few days in a row, I'm not so sure you know what it's really like. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Internships are very helpful. It kind of depends on the type of company and position that you're applying for. So, for example, a good position that you'd want to get an internship with would be like an accounting one, just to really see what it's like. Not necessarily for like a frontline teller position. Also, volunteer experience, like you were mentioning. We love to see volunteer experience on a resume for people who apply with us at NuMark, because volunteering is so central to who we are. It's a central part of our culture. So that would be very helpful to see on a resume. It really just depends on the industry as well.
Right. And it is helpful. It really is. I've had family members think they want to do something until they actually did something, and they're like, even my son. I mean, he worked for a few different companies as internships, and I think he settled on one that he liked the vibe when he was there as an intern. So, it's very, very valuable. So let's get to rejection now. This is not a good thing. You have the interview, everything's great. You go in for the interview, and you're waiting for that call back. But rejection is a part of the process. How can they mentally handle something like that?
My best advice is to not take the rejection personally. It's very easy to do that. I have been rejected from the job process so many times, and I've gotten down about it. But after a certain point, you have to realize that getting rejected is totally inevitable for every single job seeker, whether you are at the top of your rank or you're just getting started. So you do have to have a mindset that rejection is only getting you closer to your goal. It's just a setback. It's not anything that should make you stop trying.
Yeah, it's part of the process. And don't compare yourself to others as well. Right. So they're getting that opportunity. You're not yet. Doesn't make you any worse. Doesn't make them better. It just was the right fit for them.
Right. You are where you're supposed to be, and you will get to that point if you just keep going.
I want to circle back around to the resume. How long should a resume be?
Rule of thumb, again, it kind of depends on the type of job you're applying for, the industry, and what level you are in terms of, are you an entry level, are you mid-level, are you senior level? But usually it should be like a page long, maybe 2 pages. When I say concise, I really do mean concise, especially as a recruiter going through so many resumes a day. You don't want to read a novel.
No.
You want to have the right information, but in a concise manner that really shows everything. And it's a skill. Resume crafting is a skill, and it's not easy.
No, it's not. Melanie, we haven't gotten to the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Social media. That's a problem for some people when looking for a job, is it not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Social media is the best and also the worst.
Explain. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you can use social media, and smart companies will use social media to advertise their position. So you can find a lot of information from social media in terms of what companies are hiring. A lot of companies have streamlined their application process through social media, but you also have to be careful for what you post on social media. The internet is permanent. Everything is, set in stone, essentially. Even if it's deleted, it's still out there somewhere. So as a candidate, it's best to keep things semi-private on social media. Don't have any crazy opinions posted on Facebook where, somebody could easily see it. But try to use social media to your advantage in trying to find those positions that you want.
Well, I think perfectly said, especially in today's political climate. You could really limit yourself. You don't know who's looking, how they feel, and if they don't feel the same way as you, and if there are other similar candidates out there, you may not get a look, Melanie.
Yeah, I mean, there's been people who have posted, videos of their extreme opinions online, and then they accidentally go viral, and then they can't get a job or can't get into college. It's like, you got to be careful, and, the internet's a free place to kind of say what you want, but you got to be careful.
Yep, no doubt about that. Final words of wisdom or advice you, Melanie, would offer someone on their job search journey?
I would just say keep going. Take your time in crafting a great resume. Know what you want. That's super important. Know what you want in your next job/company, and don't give up. Don't get discouraged, even though it's kind of easy to do so, and make sure that you are networking with the right people. Keep at it. Don't get discouraged. Keep going.
Well said. Melanie Anderson, NuMark Credit Union, thank you so much for joining us here this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So that's Melanie. Now we turn our attention to giving away a $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Now I'm here at the Rockwood Motor Court in Springfield, Missouri. Monica's back at our studios. So the phone number is 815-254-7300. That is the Turk Furniture studio line. True or false? So many questions I could ask you, but we're on Route 66. True or false? NuMark Credit Union is a sponsor of Great American Road Trip 2.0. 815-254-7300 is the number. It's 815-254-7300. True or false? NuMark Credit Union is a sponsor of the Great American Road Trip. You can grow your money your way. First correct caller, by the way. NuMark Credit Union gives you flexibility with our Pick Your Term CD. Check this out. You get 5% of terms 7 to 9 months. 5%. That's a lot of money back for your money just sitting there. Let them help you find a term that fits your needs. Call 815-729-3211 or visit a NuMark office near you. Mind, do we got ourselves a winner chicken dinner yet?
Yes, just talking right now.
All right. What's the name?
It is Dave Catalani. Dave, where are you from?
And the answer
I'm
was?
Still talking.
The answer
Dave?
Was true.
Where are you from?
He's from Joliet. I know Dave.
There you go,
Yep.
Scott.
Joliet Dave. Thanks, Mon. Dave, you have yourself a gift card from NuMark Credit Union, the Crest Hill branch. You can go in there anytime after noon today or in the future and pick up your $25 Visa gift card, compliments of NuMark Credit Union. Congratulations to Dave. Monica, thank you. It's going to wrap things up for Money Talk, brought to you by NuMark Credit Union. Yes, a proud sponsor of the WJOL Morning Show and the Great American Road Trip 2.0.